second left field, 22, Christian Yelich. At first base, batting third, number 8, Ryan Brown. Batting fourth, at third base, number 21, Travis Shaw. In right field, batting fifth, number 16, Diego Santana. Batting sixth, catching, number 9, Manfred. Batting seventh, play second base, number 5, Jonathan VR. Shortstop, batting eighth, number 3, Orlando Garcia. Batting ninth, pitching for the Brewers, number 45, Elise. And now, the starting lineup for your Cincinnati. Leading off, playing left field, number 33, Jesse Winker. Batting second, shortstop, number 9, Jose Barraza. Batting third at first base, number 19, Joey Votto. Batting fourth at right field, number 43, Skip Shepard. Batting fifth at third base, number 7, Diego Suarez. Batting sixth in catching, number 16, Tucker Barnhart.
Home runs, and everybody knows how much the Brewers rely on the home run ball. They're 12-4 this year when they hit a home run. Last year, over 5 runs a game here. They hit 24 home runs, and just about everybody contributing. So the weather's great. This is baseball weather. The bats are here. You know, they left the bats with the hits in them in Kansas City. I found that out. And they shipped them to Cincinnati here, so they're ready to go.
Glad we got that straightened out. There's some of the numbers here of the Brewers players last year. Travis Shaw, who grew up about an hour from Cincinnati, he likes coming here. Manny Pena and Orlando Arcia putting up some good stats as well here in the city of Cincinnati. Well, meanwhile, the pitching continues to shine for the Milwaukee Brewers. Yolis Chassin with winning decisions in each of his last 2 starts. Sophia Minard will take a look at what's been going well for Yolis. We get you ready for first pitch in Cincinnati.
Is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. The Brewers road trip moves on to Great American Ballpark, the home of the Cincinnati Reds. We're taking a look at Reds starter Brandon Finnegan. 5 starts for him against the Brewers, a 2-1 record, and a .386 earned run average. For the Brewers, they'll counter with Jhoulys Chacín, and he's been a part of a Brewers pitching staff that is among the best in baseball, the 3rd best earned run average at .314. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minard here at Great American Ballpark, and the Brewers offense would like to set that Cubs series behind them, and the Brewers pitching staff would like to continue what has been a great run of pitching for them over their last 15 starts. They have a 7-1 record, and their earned run average just over 3 as a group. And taking a look at Jhoulys Chacín, he's been a part of the Brewers' success as well. Over his last 2 starts, a 2-0 record for him, a 154 earned run average. Opponents hitting just 186 against him. He's coming off of a start against the Kansas City Royals where he gave up just those 2 earned runs. So we hear from manager Craig Counsell what has worked for Chacín over his last 2 starts.
One of the things that he's done is he's put his fastball in the zone, and not just in the zone, but in better spots in the zone. And that's, that's going to lead to, he has the ability to get swings with his fastball. He's got a moving fastball that, can start in and move to the corners, or start in the corners and move out of the zone. And that's going to get swings, and that's kind of what happened in that Kansas City game. They were very aggressive, and it kind of led to him being very efficient and getting through some innings really quickly. And that may not happen, but if he is throwing his fastball for strikes, he will be getting ahead in the count. There may be more foul balls or something tonight, but if he's ahead in the count, they'll have success.
Chacín looking to add another quality start to what has been a great week of pitching for the Brewers. And the Brewers bats would desperately like to get going here at Great American Ballpark. We've got first pitch and lineups coming up next.
In Cincinnati, 70 degrees at game time as the Brewers and Cincinnati Reds get set to meet for the 2nd series between the teams this season. Craig Counsell's group took 2 out of 3 a couple of weeks ago at Miller Park. A couple of Brewers shutouts in that series in Milwaukee. Let's check out the Potawatomi batting order for the Brew Crew. Lorenzo King, Christian Yelich, and Ryan Braun at the top. Travis Shaw hits cleanup. Domingo Santana, Manny Pina, Jonathan Villar, Orlando Arcia, and Jhoulys Chacín rounding out the Brew Crew batting order. against the Reds left-hander Brandon Finnegan. And we are ready to go here in Cincinnati as Finnegan misses, and we are underway at Great American Ballpark.
Man, it's been a struggle for Finnegan so far. The Reds are 0-3 in his first 3 starts of this season. Started slow. He was on a disabled list to begin the year.
A shoulder injury last year. As a matter of fact, he had just 4 starts period for the Reds last season as Cain chops one foul. In fact, early last season, the middle of April, he lasted just 1 inning against the Brew Crew and had to come out of the game. Had a little problem later in the year. On that day, a lat issue and then a shoulder injury ended his season that really barely started. 2 balls, 1 strike to Lorenzo Cain as Finnegan misses again.
Yeah, 6th start for Finnegan against the Brewers. He's 2-1, a .386 earned run average. Not a hard thrower.
And Cain reaches on a walk. He was the one Brewer who got on base rather frequently in the series against the Cubs, and he leads off this game with a walk, and that's the 20th he has taken already this year.
Check out the Reds defensively here tonight. You got Winker, Hamilton, and Schebler in the outfield. Schebler back off the disabled list, just like Suarez. He's back in the lineup. He's at third base. Peraza, Blandino up the middle. Joey Votto red hot at the plate at first, and Tucker Barnhart doing the catching tonight.
Christian Yelich going after the first pitch and pops this one up, and the shortstop Jose Peraza will handle it for out number 1. Well, as we showed you the Brewer lineup, it might look familiar to you. 1 through 8. That was Milwaukee's opening day lineup against the Padres in San Diego. And this is the first time they've had that look since. We credit Mike Vasallo for pointing that out to all of us here. Media Relations Director of the Year candidate.
Very nice.
Well, you get the regular 8. You know, if there is such a thing. Craig Counsell always talks about mixing and matching the lineup, but if you're thinking, this could be a pretty good look, they haven't had it much in the first month of the season. Here's Ryan Braun.
And it was a left-hander on the mound for the Padres that day on opening day. That put Braun at first base. Braun's looking more comfortable over at first. With Thames on a disabled list, you're probably going to see him over there quite a bit.
Yeah, made a couple of tough plays in the series in Chicago. A diving stop on one hard ground ball, and was able to fight through the wind on a high pop-up to make the catch. It was anything but routine for anybody out there over the weekend, but new day, new series, and much better weather. Spring is back. 2 strikes and nothing to Braun, who, as we mentioned at the top, has homered 25 times here at Great American Ballpark. No opposing player has topped that. I say it all the time, Braun hits well just about anywhere. He does enjoy coming here.
You couldn't ask for a better ballpark to right the ship offensively for the Brewers. Spirits were high around the batting cage. There was no talk about Chicago and no talk about the weather. Guys looking forward.
Well, Rocky, you've lived it. Most of us observe it. You've been a part of it, where you go through long streaks, good and bad, either wins or losses or hitting streaks. When you play 162, you're going to have those stretches.
Just got to keep your head down and grind it out. And remember in '87, the Brewers on that team that I was on won the first 13 games, and then in May lost 12 straight. So in the beginning of the year could do nothing wrong. And then there was a stretch where it couldn't do anything right and wasn't scoring runs. The pitching wasn't very good. So you're going to go through stretches like that. Unfortunately, it happened at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. Yeah, that makes it sting a little bit more.
Yes, it does. But they will see them again and again and again throughout the course of the rest of this season. A ball, 2 strikes as Lorenzo Cain is on the run on a pitch that Barnhart will have no chance of throwing out. Cain. There's another steal for Lorenzo Cain. That's 8 out of 9 for him in the first month of the year.
Yeah, for lefty Finnegan, an average move to first base. That high leg kick, Lorenzo takes off right away, and no chance for Barnhart. So got a man in scoring position for Milwaukee.
A busy first month in the running game for Lorenzo Cain. See if Braun could pick him up. A full count to him, and he just does get a piece.
Yeah, Finnegan with a low 90s fastball. He's got a slider. That's a very effective pitch, and a changeup. He'll throw the changeup. He just threw one to Braun right there.
Came over from the Royals, part of the Johnny Cueto trade. First round draft pick by Kansas City was Finnegan out of TCU. And one of several pitchers here who've gone through the health issues as Braun takes a walk. So a couple of walks surrendered by Brandon Finnegan. And the Brewers have runners at first and second with one out.
Yeah, Brawny doing a good job not biting on that slider.
There's Jim Riggleman, who took over for Brian Price right after the series against the Brewers at Miller Park. Riggleman handling things for the time being, and we'll see if it goes to the rest of this season. This is his 5th stint as a big league manager. Been on the Red staff here for the last few years. In fact, was in the minor league system. And then part of the staff of Brian Price. Takes over now here in Cincinnati. Travis Shaw is at the plate. This is as close as it gets to a homecoming for Shaw, who grew up in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. It's about an hour or so from here, a little north. And he was one of those guys last year we talked often about Ryan Braun, but Shaw didn't mind playing here either. He put up some numbers at Cincinnati last year.
Yeah, there aren't too many hitters that don't like this ballpark. Ball jumps. Going to jump tonight. We got nice weather. We're in the 70s.
One of the good launching pads in all of Major League Baseball. Brewers with a threat here in the first inning. Shaw sitting on 5 home runs. He has driven in 14. Just 1 RBI behind the team leader. Kane and Braun reaching on walks here to begin the game. The 1-2. Barnhart's getting the workout right away.
Yeah, it's going to be important for the Brewers, and they've done a pretty good job early on to lay off that pitch down in the dirt, especially with 2 strikes. Finnegan likes to work ahead, so you're going to get a pretty good pitch to hit once he settles in early in the count. He's going to try and get you to chase.
And Shaw with a fly ball into right field. Going back is Scott Schebler. He'll have room. Kane will tag. He'll move to third, and the Brewers have runners at the corners with 2 men out. Now here's Domingo Santana. Three hits for him over the weekend. Also reached on a walk back in right field tonight for the Brewers.
This is where the Brewers have to come up with that big hit. Take advantage of opportunities.
Yeah, the runners in scoring position. At bats here. 1-0 to Santana, and a little bloop that'll be squeezed by Alex Blandino, and that threat goes by the boards here for the Brewers. In the first inning, a couple of walks, and that's it. Jhoulys Chacín ready to take them out in Cincinnati. inning, and now the Reds will come calling in the bottom half of inning number 1. Let's check out the Reds batting order presented by Potawatomi. Jesse Winker will lead things off, followed by Jose Peraza and Joey Votto. Scott Schebler hits cleanup. Eugenio Suarez hits 5th. Tucker Barnhart, Alex Blandino, Brandon Finnegan, the pitcher, hits 8th, and Billy Hamilton rounds out the Reds lineup, and that's the lineup that will face Jhoulys Chacín.
Yeah, Chacín's been pretty good his last 3, particularly good his last 2. He's won them both. The Brewers are 4-2 in his 6 starts, making start number 7, appearance number 9 against Cincinnati. He's got a .364 earned run average against the Reds.
And looking for his 3rd consecutive winning decision, and looking to continue what has been a very impressive trend. We've talked about the pitching staff as a whole. The bullpen has been electric. Well, the starters over the last 15 games have been awfully good as well. An ERA of not quite 2.5 and a 7-4 record along the way. Looks like Winker has settled at the top of the order for the Reds. Billy Hamilton has been either hitting at the top or at the bottom or near the bottom, but Winker has given this ball club some productivity. You see that on base percentage of .415. This is a Reds team that is starting to hit now. We talked about it in Miller Park. They didn't hit with the exception of the first game of that series where they scored 10 runs in back-to-back shutouts, but you just knew it was a matter of time.
Yeah, well, you know Votto's going to get his. I mean, it's only a matter of time for him. And they had a couple of big bats on the disabled list. Schebler and Suarez were not in the lineup. Those are 2 home run bats that they did not have. Let's check out the Brewers defensively. As penciled in by Craig Counsell, you got Yelich, Kane, Santana in the outfield. Shaw, Arcia, VR, Braun from 3rd to 1st. And Manny Pena behind home plate, hanging the signs for Chacín today.
Well, Chacín gets a ground out from Jesse Winker, and here is Jose Peraza. He enters the game with a 7-game hitting streak. Reds come back home having won 2 out of 3 against the Twins, and that's notable. It's the first series the Reds have won this season. They come back home with a 7-21 record. And Peraza with a little pop up, and that will be covered by Jonathan VR. Out number 2.
Reds have always been pretty good in this ballpark. I mean, the way they can swing the bats, you know, the pitching has been their problem in the past. But they can slug, especially when they're healthy.
Chacín now gets set to face someone who slugs about as well as anyone in this game, Joey Votto. We've talked about Braun's numbers against the Reds. Votto has stellar numbers against the Brewers, and actually put together a nice series for himself a couple of weeks ago in Milwaukee. Votto enters tonight's game having reached safely in 14 straight.
Yeah, typical David Votto was a walk and a couple of hits. Yeah, one of the best at working the count and working the pitcher throughout an at bat. And they got the big shift on him over on the right side.
Orlando Arcia out on the grass. 1-1 pitch to Votto. So all the 4 home runs for Votto, they came in consecutive games, 3 against Atlanta and 1 against the Twins at Target Field. And he has shown the average and the run producing capability against Milwaukee. Breaking ball misses from Chacín.
Chacín throwing a few more sliders early in the game tonight than he did against the Royals. Really used his fastball a lot, the 2-seamer.
And was very efficient. The Royals were in attack mode, and Jhoulys was rolling through some innings, those early innings, very, very quickly.
Yeah, pitch count was low. That's why he was able to get through the game. Pitched into the 6th.
Full count to Votto with 2 outs and the bases empty. And and Votto takes a walk.
Well, check out our Pizza Ranch for the win here tonight. First game of this 3-game series. Pitch count's always a big deal for Chassin. Very good against Kansas City. Max actually retired the first 11 hitters in that game. Forza charm. His last 3 have been very good. Last 2 really good, and hopefully that's going to be the case tonight. And another changeup guy the Brewers are going to be facing, Brandon Finnegan. The low 90s fastball, the slider, and the changeup.
Chassin gives up a 2-out walk. The cleanup hitter is Scott Schebler. And he goes after the first pitch and rolls one into the shift, and that will do it as VR puts it away, and the walk is harmless. We are through 1 scoreless in Cincinnati.
The Brewers and the Reds as we head to the second, and manager Craig Counsell said certainly this team would like to set the 4-game series at Wrigley Field behind them, and he said when you're struggling, there's certainly a lot of things that you can take away from a series like that. He said even just a change of venue can do a lot for guys in terms of changing what your eyes see and just mentally getting away from it. So he said as well, he said with that series, he said the home run was not a factor at all for either team. So he said things like hitting to contact, defense, base running, all of those things are heightened within the game. So he said there are other ways to win without the home run, and he said that was the lesson that they can take away, that even when the offense is struggling, there are other ways that you can win the game, impact the game, and he said that's what the great teams do, and he said we need to get to that place.
Which really, Rock and Sophia, the Brewers were doing in the midst of that 8-game winning streak. Yeah, they were hitting the long ball, but they were really tight out on the field as well.
And, you know, what they were doing offensively, they might not have been hitting a ton of home runs, but they were putting good at-bats together, drawing their walks, and cutting down on the strikeouts. You remember that last game at Kansas City where they scored, you know, most of their runs on outs. I mean, you know, advancing base runners, all things that Craig Counsell has been talking about for the last couple of years with this ball club. Don't be so heavily reliant on the home run, because you're going to run into some good pitching, you're going to run into some conditions where you're just not going to be able to hit home runs.
And that was clearly the case in Chicago. The Cubs scored but 9 runs in the series. So while it was a sweep, it wasn't like there was a ton of separation, but the Cubs were better at all the little things. After a line out for Manny Pena, Jonathan VR is swinging away 2-0. Brewers also, we mentioned the record when they hit home runs. They're also 12-4 when they score first, and missed a chance in the first inning to do that. Just trying to get some pressure any way they can.
So I guess just to be safe, hit a home run in this inning.
There you go.
There's your home run. There's your scoring first.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
From up here. 2-2 to VR. And there's strikeout number 1 for Brandon Finnegan. 2 men out here in the top of the second.
Got to be patient. You know, when the offense has been scuffling, everybody's trying to do a little bit too much. And VR swings out of the strike zone. Got to make this guy throw strikes. He's got an 8 earned run average for a reason.
They rushed him through the minor leagues, did the Royals when they drafted him. First pitcher, pretty well documented, but first look at him from the Brewers' perspective this year. The first to pitch in the College World Series, and also appeared in the World Series that same year with the Royals. The first to do that. Same calendar year. A little comebacker. Nice stop by Finnegan as he'll retire Arcia, and that is a quick second inning for Finnegan on the mound. For an inning and 1/2, we have no score. Pitching well of late. Rock, they're all pitching pretty well of late. These starters have been pretty efficient here.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, 3 runs through the rotation now have been tremendous, and giving the Brewers, just about every guy that's gone out there, giving the Brewers an opportunity to win a game. And one of the reasons to go along with that bullpen, why the Brewers pitching staff, second best earned run average right now in the National League at 3.14. Only the Diamondbacks are better.
Yeah, there you see the breakdown as that bullpen ERA continues to be very near the top as Corey Knebel continues his day-by-day process of getting back into the fold. Eugenio Suarez leading off here for the Reds. Well, Rock mentioned the Reds a healthier team. Scott Schebler back, Suarez back. Both went on the DL after being hit by pitches. Suarez broke a thumb. Took one from Jamison Tyon on April 8th. Came back a few days ago and slaps a ground ball to Orlando Arcia, and that is out number 1.
Now you like to see the ground balls off of Chassin. That means that sinker's working.
In the start against the Mets on the 15th, Chassin had to grind it. It was an 85 pitch 4-inning outing. It wasn't particularly pretty, but he allowed but 1 run. 6 innings against the Marlins, 5 2/3 against the Royals. And in today's baseball, that's about what you take. If you can get 6, 7's even better, obviously, but
you don't see that much.
You really don't.
5 2/3, 6 2/3. That's pretty much average, right? Somewhere in between there. And Hand it over to the bullpen where most teams have 7, 8 guys down there.
And as we've talked about here, especially lately, the Brewers have a pretty nice setup for Craig Counsell right now, is that you have multiple pitchers who can give you multiple innings at any point in the game. 3 balls, no strikes to Tucker Barnhart. That's a 4-pitch walk. Second walk allowed by Yolis Chassin.
Hey, you can never have too much Brewers apparel, so add some gear to your wardrobe this Sunday, May 6th, when the first 20,000 fans in attendance for the Brewers day game against the Pirates will take home a retro lightweight Brewers hoodie. Secure your seats at brewers.com.
A comfortable night at the Yard here this evening. Here is Alex Blandino. Second baseman Scooter Gennett not in the lineup. The second time in this young season that Gennett has not been in the lineup, but he has appeared in each of the first 28 games for the Reds. And Blandino is a hot hitter. He has hit safely in each of his last 7 games.
And Scooter hitting over 300.
One thing Gennett's doing too, he's hitting left-handers pretty well. Keep that in mind as the game progresses. The career year last year for the Reds, and off to a pretty nice start at the plate again this year.
Very comfortable in a Cincinnati uniform. That's funny, isn't it? Certain guys just have that comfort level in certain cities, certain organizations.
Gennett born here. The breaking ball that lands, evening the count to Blandino.
Of course, given the everyday job at second base hasn't hurt. That helps.
To his credit, he jumped at the opportunity and ran with it. 4-homer game last June against the Cardinals. Chassin missing with a slider.
Haven't been able to throw that one for a strike yet, or get a swing on it. He's trying. He's thrown more of them early tonight than he did back in Kansas City.
Two balls, one strike for the Reds' second baseman tonight, Alex Blandino. Mentioned that hitting streak for Blandino. Prior to that 7-game run, he was hitting .059. 7-game streak, some multi-hit games, and he has bumped that average about 100 points. Here's the 2-2. He's 25 years old, first-round pick out of Stanford. That was 4 years ago. Barnhart reached in a walk. 1 out, 1 on here in the second. Runners going. Pitch is swung on and missed, and that is a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Manny Pena cuts down Tucker Barnhart, inning over. Chassin with a strikeout of Blandino, and Manny Pena does what he does so well, throwing out runners attempting to steal. Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Pepsi, this is the Pepsi for your crew. Beautiful night for a little cruise on the river here in Cincinnati / Northern Kentucky. No score, Reds and Brewers. So we move to the top of the third.
You notice the river kind of low right now.
It is. A little surprising.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh.
That's it.
That's all you got?
Yeah, that's all I was walking around.
Letting you fill it in.
No, I was walking around over there. There's a lot of muddy banks over there. Not used to seeing that. I mean, it's kind of low. Maybe not getting the rain that they would like.
Kind of a dry winter, dry spring. No, not
yeah. Well, I can't break down the weather. I'm sorry.
We'll get back to you later in the series. Elise Chassin with a ground ball to Alex Blandino, and that's out number one.
I tell you, that Chassin two-seam fastball, it was such a good pitch for him against the Royals. Check this out. And look at the movement going down and in, and then this is shooting fish in the barrel for Manny Pena, throwing out Tucker Barnhart trying to steal. That's an easy strike him out, throw him out.
That is the fourth caught stealing by Pena out of the 11 who have tried. Here's Lorenzo Cain. He walked, stole a base in the first inning. Already drawn 20 walks, and he has 8 stolen bases through the first month and change. Final stop of the road trip. From here, it's back home for the next 5. 3 with the Pirates and 2 with the Cleveland Indians.
Really is a guy that never seems to change his approach. I mean, every now and again you'll see him, back leg one. He gets a count in his favor. He gets a pitch he likes. He'll overswing, but for the most part, his approach is very consistent no matter what the situation, no matter what the score. And that's how you hit 300.
And covers a lot of ground out in center field. Made a couple of more tough plays over the weekend in Chicago. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brewers will take anything right now on the board, but you just get the sense that when you go through something like this, when you break through, you might break through in a fairly big way.
You figure somebody's going to pay at some point. Better sooner than later.
Two again to Cain. On base percentage of .410 now for Lorenzo Cain.
20 walks, 19 strikeouts for Cain.
At that point now, you can start to look at those numbers. The sample size isn't so small anymore. Craig Counsell has talked about that a lot with hitters, 100 plate appearances, and that's kind of that's a benchmark. You can start to look at numbers a little bit more seriously, knowing that there's still a very, very long way to go. But that's a decent sample size.
I guess you kind of know where you are, when you hit May, right? I mean, we're talking about that in the beginning of the season. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. What are your numbers as a group as you compile them in the first month? We're not talking about just 1 week here, 1 week there, but you kind of get a sense for what kind of season you might be having.
Ninth pitch of the at bat is lifted into left center field, and taking charge is Billy Hamilton, and that's out number 2.
Of course, there are those guys that always get off to a slow start.
And then history tells you they're going to end up putting together big numbers.
Right.
They just got done with the series with the Cubs, and Anthony Rizzo fits that category.
The old line, the media guy doesn't lie. You know, guys, you know, career numbers in the media guide year to year. I mean, that's pretty much what you could expect.
There's Christian Yelich. He popped up to short in the first inning. Both teams in search of their first hit. And Yelich will get that first hit down the line, a base hit. And Christian Yelich is the 2-out runner for Milwaukee.
Yeah, Finnegan tried to come inside on him again, and this time Yelich able to get the bat head out and get it by Votto at first. Lefty versus lefty. There it is, in off the plate, and Yelich not surprised by it, and almost as if he was looking in there. And hit it hard by Votto, was playing way back behind the bag.
So the 2 outs, the Brewers with a runner on for Ryan Braun, who worked a walk in the first inning. Chased one. Braun has had 8 at-bats against Finnegan, as homered against him. 25 bombs in his career here at Great American Ballpark.
Yeah, waiting for Finnegan to hang one of those sliders. He hadn't done it yet. Every one of the sliders that he's thrown have been well located down out of the strike zone or under a bat.
He's given up 3 through his first 3 starts this season. September call-up for the Royals in 2014. Came up clutch in their wild card game, and that was a wild game against Oakland. And a year later moved for Johnny Cueto in a move that worked well for Kansas City.
Right. I tell you, the Reds used to have a lights out starting rotation. When you think about the guys that they had Cueto. Remember, Bronson Arroyo was putting together some good starts. They had Volquez over here.
A healthier Homer Bailey. He's been dealing with injury problems for a long time, but we'll see him tomorrow night. Braun with a bouncer up the middle, and that gets through. Yelich the turn, and he's on his way to third. First and third with 2 outs for Milwaukee.
Man, 2 outs, nobody on, back-to-back hits. Maybe second time through, the Brewers getting a better look at these Finnegan pitches. That fastball out over the plate. I mean, that is a red zone for Braun, out away from him. And the Brewers still alive here in the 3rd inning. Remember, Aaron Harang was at the top of his game back in those days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Reds were last a playoff team in 2013. Got knocked out in the wild card round. There's Travis Shaw. Hit a fly ball to right in the first inning. Another RBI opportunity now for the third baseman. And Shaw pops this one up. Barnhart will have a play. And the Brewers strand 2 more. Done that a couple of times early on. Still no score in Cincinnati.
3-game series. No score here in the third. And before the game, manager Craig Counsell spoke about Jhoulys Chassin and the great start he had in his last start against the Kansas City Royals. Gave up just 2 runs in 5 2/3 innings. But what Craig Counsell was most impressed with was the command of the fastball, how he used it in the zone, hitting better spots with it in the zone. He said he can certainly get some swings with the great movement that he has on that fastball. So whether it's coming in and then hits the corner, or whether it comes in on the corner and then gets out of the zone, he said that pitch was key for him in that Royals outing, and their aggressive approaches against him too.
They were very aggressive, and Brandon Finnegan puts the ball in play, and a ground out, and a good start here to inning number 3.
You know, pitching coaches like to put it this way: go from ball to strike and strike the ball, right? I mean, make it not look like a strike all the way out of the hand. That's the key to good pitching and keeping hitters off balance. And that's what he was able to do in Kansas City. Did a good job of that.
Yeah, he's putting together some nice rhythm here after a choppy beginning to his Brewers career, but he's settled in. Billy Hamilton's going to try to bunt his way on, and Chassin will have none of it. That is out number 2 in the third.
Well, you always love to get that guy out. He bunts. A lot of times if he beats it out, I mean, not only will he steal second base, he'll steal third too. And he feels as though even if you're in on him, if he bunts it anywhere where he wants it, he's going to beat it out. And he almost beat that one out.
Chassin retires the first 2 here in inning number 3. Back to the top of the order, and Jesse Winker grounded to short in the first inning. Winker, a first-round pick back in 2012, debuted last year in the big leagues, and that's going to be the first hit of the night for Cincinnati into right center field. Winker's thinking 2, and he will get to a sliding 2-out double for Jesse Winker.
See that fastball. It started out as a strike, ended up being a strike up in the strike zone. That's a mistake by Chassin. And Winker able to take advantage of it. A 2-out double. So both of the hits, I should say all 3 hits, have come with 2 outs for both teams.
So Winker in scoring position for Jose Peraza. Reds have talked about in their recent run of putting more runs on the board, they have not been a home run reliant team, which might catch some people by surprise. They homered 22 times as opposed to the 30 bombs that Milwaukee has. Scoring at a pretty good clip, about 5.8 a game over the last 10. That was when Riggleman took over.
Now, when it's all said and done, the Reds are going to be around. They're going to be hitting a lot of home runs. Again, they've had a couple of big home run hitters on the disabled list. The 10-day DL.
Schebler and Suarez back into the fold. 2 strikes and nothing to Jose Peraza. And he doesn't bite on that slider.
Doesn't seem to have that quick late breaking slider going today, and the Reds are picking it up and not chasing it out of the strike zone.
Here's the 1-2. Tried it again. Peraza, the regular shortstop now. Zach Cozart, an Angel. Two-out double from Winker. And tried the slider a third time. Chassin with a strikeout, a couple of walks. Gave up his first hit of the night a moment ago.
Yeah, this is the guy he wants. You don't want to mess around with a guy on deck. A couple of men on, Joey Votto.
Chassin gets what he wants from Pena. And this is sent out to center field. Lorenzo Cain drifting over, and that'll do it for the Reds here in the third inning. A 2-out double is all they get. We are scoreless as we move to inning number 4. Weekdays at 4 p.m. Central only on FS1. This would fall under the category of a rather lightly attended Monday night tussle here in Cincinnati. Scoreless as we move to the 4th inning.
Yeah, surprising because it's one of the best days that they've had around here, right?
Yeah, they've had it nice and cold and not as snowy as we've had, but they've had a lot of rain here, they say, but a beautiful late April day. Now nights. Domingo Santana leads things off, attacking the first pitch, and Jose Peraza snaps it up for out number 1. Here's Manny Pena. Can't get going here. No, he's a much better hitter than that. Continuing to turn in good work behind the plate. He's thrown out an attempted base stealer here this evening. Could strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Yeah, catchers have to be very satisfied with the way their pitchers have been performing. They take a lot of pride in that, and they get some credit. Calling the game, getting these guys through games, starters and relievers for that matter.
He is doing just that. Remember, activated off the disabled list last week in time for the Royals' second game of the Royals series.
He's come a long way in his game calling skills, has Manny Pena. He's worked hard at it.
The ball, a strike. Brandon Finnegan off to a good start. He's had to wiggle out of trouble a couple of times. Couple of walks in the first inning, couple of singles given up in the third. Pena with a fly ball hit back into center field. Hamilton going back, and it is gone. A home run. Manny Pena to dead center field, and the Brewers are on the board.
Yep, had the count in his favor, 2-1, and he knocked it on out of here. I got a slight breeze blowing out toward left field. Not sure how much it helped that, but boy, did the Brewers need that. A home run, they score first. That's always a recipe for success. That fastball right down the middle of the plate, and as soon as contact was made, you saw the reaction from Finnegan. He knew that was trouble. And Manny Pena with number 2. Way back in center.
Powerball home run count, number 2 for Manny Pena. Well, Rocky called for it. Get the home run, score first. Good signs.
Yep. Pack up the bats.
There you go. We're done. We'll see you tomorrow. Here's Jonathan Villar trying to lay one down the line.
Yeah, if only, right?
He jumped on it. Hamilton, who's been known to take away home runs, but that was well beyond his reach. 410 feet. That's the measurement of that long ball from the Brewers catcher. A ball, 2 strikes to Villar. He struck out in the second inning. Trying to cut down on that strikeout rate. I should tell you, though, this first month of the big league season has unfolded into an historic month in terms of strikeouts. They say this will be the first month ever where there will be more strikeouts than hits.
Really?
It's incredible.
Yeah, and a lot more strikeouts than hits, it seems like.
And we all know the trend across baseball has been strikeouts, where collectively records have been broken on an annual basis, but never has there been a month with more strikeouts than hits until now.
Well, the game has changed, has it not?
Yeah, strikeouts not frowned upon as much, and yet you still look at the very best teams like the Astros. You get the ball in play, and Villar is able to work a walk. So after Finnegan was able to get Santana on a ground out, he gives up a homer to Pena and walks Jonathan Villar.
Yeah, big 3 things that you look at these days. Home runs, walks, strikeouts. Those are the 3 main things that you see the most in these games.
3 true outcomes, and it's actually up. That stat is up a little more, and it was at a high last year at some 33%, and now it's 34% and change of plate appearances, ending with a walk, a strikeout, or a home run. Here's Orlando Arcia. So we talk a lot about the Brewers being reliant on the home run, which they are, but they're not alone. Oh, 0-2 to Arcia. Hit a comebacker to end the second inning. Eight RBIs in the first month for Arcia, but on 3 occasions they were game-winning RBIs. Two-strike pitch. Arcia coming back rather quickly from that scary moment a week ago Saturday when he rolled his ankle against the Miami Marlins. He's missed a couple of games and was right back at it. Played 3 out of 4 in Chicago. Finnegan ahead of the count, a ball, 2 strikes.
He was thinking about running, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Gave a little lean and retreats in plenty of time. He has stolen 4 bases. He's been caught once. He's holding here. You're talking about this though, Rock. VR has been a little more selective in his stolen base attempts. He's showing a little sign of growth, more experience.
Not as wild on the bases and just freewheeling, thinking it through a little bit more.
Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball to Peraza. There's one, there's two. Blandino, Peraza, Votto. That is a 4-6-3 double play, and that ends the inning for the Brewers. But they get on the scoreboard as Manny Pena gets into one from Brandon Finnegan and sends it over the wall in center field. 1-0 Brewers in the fourth.
With his second home run of the year. Hey, today's time of the game winner, Sportsman's Lounge in Arcadia. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. And it's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Arcadia. Trempealeau County, Wisconsin.
Is that right?
You knew that.
I did not, actually. No.
Oh, your consultant did not consult with you? Okay. All right. Now you know.
Okay.
I'm here to help. I'm here to fulfill the role of Mike Faulkner.
Another spot we have to hit.
You know, that list is growing, but we're just the guys to do it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Joey Votto leads off here the fourth inning. Votto, Schebler, and Suarez. And he's clipped. That got him. Well, he got out of the way, but I think you could hear it. So, a walk and a hit batsman. That's been Votto's night so far.
Trying to work him inside. He was doing that even his first at bat when he drew a walk.
Leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight for Cincinnati. Here is Scott Schebler. Mentioned Suarez getting back into the fold after missing time with a broken thumb when he was hit by a pitch. Schebler had an elbow injury. He was hit by a Sean Doolittle fastball, and that kept him out for a bit. Returning a few days ago for Cincinnati. Showed that power last year for the Reds, homering 30 times.
And that disabled list has been very active in all of baseball. I think one of the reasons is it's no longer a 15-day DL. It's a 10-day DL, more manageable for an organization. You know, to give a guy like Anthony Rizzo in Chicago maybe 10 days, they might not have DL'd him if it was a little over 2 weeks.
Schebler goes the other way, left center field. That's trouble, and on his way to third goes Votto, and he will stop there. Schebler into second, and the Reds have runners at second and third to begin the fourth inning.
Two-seamer up, going away from Schebler, goes right with it. Good piece of hitting by the left-hander, third double of the year. Hasn't left too many pitches like this up in the zone. That was actually a slider, not a fastball. Slider, he slices out there into the gap. Well, second and third, nobody out. He's in trouble. That slider has not been a good pitch for him so far today.
So the first real trouble of the night for Ulysses Chacin. Eugenio Suarez at the plate. And he's going after the first pitch. Will carry out a play.
And the thing about that slider, it's such an important part of what he does that you got to keep throwing it. He's got to get a feel for it. It's going to be important for him. That's why Manny continues to throw the 3 down. He wants that slider.
Brewers will give up the run to get an out here. 1-strike pitch. And that's trouble down the line and to the wall. 2 runs will score. Suarez into second with a 2-run double to give the Reds the lead.
And still nobody out. A hard hit ball, middle in. Suarez pulls the hands in, rips it down the line. First 3 innings, that sinker was getting down in the zone. Not a bad pitch. Maybe wanted it a little bit more down and maybe in. Suarez hits it hard. And 2 come across, still nobody out.
So a hit batsman and back-to-back doubles. Suarez drives in a pair. And here's Tucker Barnhart. Barnhart walked and was caught stealing, part of a strike him out double, throw him out double play in the second inning. And missing with the slider again is Chacin. Started with a hit batsman. He got Votto to begin this inning. Schebler doubled. Suarez brought them both home. And now it's 3-0 to Barnhart.
Barnhart's seen nothing but pitches out of the strike zone.
The reigning Gold Glove winner in the National League for catchers. And another 4-pitch walk. So the first 4 reaching for the Reds. And it's going to get Derek Johnson out of the dugout. I mentioned the slider hasn't been there, and the Reds now are starting to tee off a little bit.
Well, they know it. They know it's not a good pitch for him, and he's not been able to get any swings and misses. You can see that last at bat. He threw a slider that Barnhart didn't swing at, and Chacin, after he got the baseball bat, was shaking his head. It's frustrating for him. Those are the pitches that he needs to swing and miss. That was the pitch that we were talking about that starts as a strike, ends up as a ball, that he is not getting any swings.
Well, the Brewers using a couple of mound visits in the early innings. We really haven't seen that come into play as being a problem, though, in baseball.
Has anybody actually ran out?
Well, Trying to think, not that I know of. Maybe someone has, but
Yeah.
it hasn't really been an issue the way some thought it could be.
No, I mean, nobody's even really come close to running out in the games we've seen.
Here's Alex Blandino.
Matter of fact, the Brewers' extra inning game in San Diego, they had 8 left at the end of the game.
You get the extra, right?
Yeah, so not only did they not use their 6, they had 2 more.
So they're in good shape. One 0 to Blandino. There you go. The slider, they'll give him that one. 1-1 the count. Could use a ground ball right now. Blandino struck out in the second inning. And there's the ground ball. Arcia, VR, Braun, double play.
Just got to ask, partner. Well done.
6-4-3, 2 men out. Suarez advances to third.
Yep, room service double play. That was a good pitch by Chacin. The 2-seamer is going down. Blandino gets on top of it. 2 hops to Arcia and a room service double play.
It's the 26th that the Brewers have turned. It is among the leaders in the National League. Here's Brandon Finnegan. Pitcher grounded out to Braun in the third inning. And he lands that slider for a strike.
Yeah, the Giants and the Braves have turned 29 double plays.
So the Brewers are in the neighborhood. And back-to-back breaking balls has Chacin ahead of the count. No balls, 2 strikes. And another chance for Braun, stays with it, and that'll do it for the Reds here in the 4th. Well, they get a couple, but Chacin battles back and prevents it from being worse. 2-1 Reds after 4. Miller Lights, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota, let's go places.
The Reds take a 2-1 lead over the Brewers as we head to the 5th at Great American Ballpark. Checking in on the Colorado Springs Sky Sox in our UW Whitewater scouting report. Yesterday's starter Bubba Derby went 5 2/3, gave up just 1 run on 4 hits with 6 strikeouts and 2 walks, picking up the win. So on the season, he moves to 1-0, a 2.13 earned run average and a good opponent average for him as well. He was acquired in 2016 in that trade with the Oakland A's in the Chris Davis trade, and that Sky Sox team is a very deep team. As we've spoken about, they moved to 15-7 on the season. And Mauricio Dubon, by the way, extended his hitting streak now to 18 games. So impressive stuff happening down there in AAA.
Yeah, you're right. That is a pretty good looking team they have down there with the Sky Sox.
Yeah. Rick Sweet, the manager, the manager over there with Colorado Springs. He's got a good unit. He's got some guys that probably think they should be in the big leagues.
And the way things work as the season moves along, a good chance you'll see them. Certainly was the case last year with the back and forth between Milwaukee and Colorado Springs. Elise Chassin leads off here for the Brewers in inning number 5. Turned in some good work, did Chassin. The first 4 Reds reached to hit batsman, back-to-back doubles and a walk, but then got a double play and then a ground ball from the opposing pitcher. Three balls, 1 strike. And Chassin into right center field, and that's a base hit. Schebler cuts it off. It'll be a long single for Ulysses Chassin, his first hit of the year.
He smoked that one, didn't he? Fastball up and away and went right with it. Takes a pretty good hack up there at the plate. I mean, he's a guy that stands up there and he expects to get a good swing. And rips that one into the gap. Schebler doing a good job cutting it off, keeping him to first base. That's a good swing.
Take a good hard cut just in case, and he did. Top of the order, and Lorenzo Cain. Cain has walked and has flied to center field. Brewers now with 4 hits. One of those 4, the home run from Manny Pena. One and 2 to Lorenzo Cain. This is the second inning. The Brewers have put their leadoff man aboard. Cain got the game started with a walk.
We got 3 walks for Finnegan. 4 hits, 7 base runners.
Brewers have stranded 4, 2 each in the first and third innings.
They're having a difficult time coming up with a 2-out hit to drive in a run.
Finnegan loads up with a 2-2, and Cain sends one deep to left field, and that is out of here. Number 4 for Lorenzo Cain, and the Brewers take the lead 3-2. A no-doubter for Lorenzo Cain.
He's been something else to start the season. Fastball right down the middle of the plate, 91. You saw the reaction of Finnegan. He knew that was trouble, and Lorenzo Cain with that back leg swing. That's a classic right there. Leaning back and giving it all he's got, and he knocks one out of here at the left center.
That's fun to see. When he has one he likes, he is not going to get cheated. And he did not.
And that was a 2-strike pitch. Fastball down the middle of the plate. A mistake by Finnegan, and Lorenzo Cain knocked it out of here.
A ball, a strike to Christian Yelich. Yelich has popped to short and is singled to right. So home runs accounting for the Brewers offense. Solo shot from Pena, 2-run blast from Kane. And a strikeout of Yelich for out number 1. One away in the 5th. There's Ryan Braun. Let's check out his night at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Braun walked in the 1st inning, a single to center in the 3rd. Out in front there.
Look at that changeup. Hadn't thrown many of those tonight.
A ball to strike to Braun, back at first base. Played there a couple of games in the series at Wrigley Field. This was the first time he had been there since the first 2 games of the season in San Diego. Braun with a fly ball to right. Schebler drifting toward the line. Out number 2.
Hey, a reminder that every Friday home game, including this Friday, May 4th against the Pirates, high school and college students can get tickets for as little as $10, plus enjoy a special $4 menu through the 1st inning. Learn more at brewers.com/students. $10 tickets.
That's a deal
for big league baseball. That's a pretty good deal.
$4 menu. You got to get there. You got to get on that. Home against the Pirates.
Playing some good baseball.
They are. Yeah, they've started fast, hit a little slump, and now they're back rolling. Travis Shaw looking for his first hit. A fly ball and a foul pop. Two balls, one strike. Well, it was Shaw who put out the tweet last night. Little Aaron Rodgers-esque. Wouldn't say relax, but said chill. Just chill. And there's a fly ball out to right field. Plenty of room for Scott Schebler. And that'll do it for the Brewers here in the 5th. But another scoring inning via the long ball. Lorenzo Cain sends one out of here to left field, his 4th of the year, a 2-run shot. It gives the Brewers a 3-2 lead in the 5th. Hey Brewers fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by T-Mobile. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. Bottom of the fifth here in Cincinnati. Billy Hamilton leads off 9-1-2 in the Reds order. Always dangerous, but it has been a very slow start to Hamilton as you see the numbers. Jim Riggleman recently pinch hit for Hamilton. Getting late in a game, needing a hit, and it's been a real struggle for a guy that when he gets on base, he can get from point A to point B with the best of them. And he bloops one down the line, and that's a fair ball. Takes the turn, and he will fly into second base with a double.
And fisted that one just barely into the outfield, and as soon as that ball hit the ground, you knew Billy Hamilton was going to be at least at second base. Not a bad pitch in on him. And thinking about pulling those hands in, getting enough of it for a leadoff double for Cincinnati. My second time through the batting order, the Reds are getting pretty good swings against Chacin.
Yeah, 4 doubles as a matter of fact the second time through. Here is Jesse Winker. He had one of them. That was in the 3rd inning. And he lays one down. Broad, nowhere to go. Everybody's safe.
Chacin wasn't able to get there. He started to go after the baseball. And by the time he realized he couldn't get there, too late to cover the bag.
So once again, trouble for Chacin.
Well, Chacin goes right to, well, actually, he's covering the 3rd baseline. It's kind of an interesting move by Chacin. Normally he falls off to first base, but his first move was to go to 3rd baseline. That's why he wasn't able to get over there.
Nothing Ryan Braun could do. So runners at the corners, nobody out for Jose Peraza. First 4 reached for the Reds in the 4th inning. 2 came across. First 2 are aboard now in the 5th. Peraza has popped out and fly to center. And waves at one and does not get it.
Brewers back up the middle to turn 2.
Chacin got a double play ground ball from Alex Blandino in the last inning. There's a liner out to center field. Kane the catch and the tag, and Hamilton will score easily, and this game is tied at 3. Sacrifice fly from Peraza. And looks like Counsell's going to make a move, and he will do just that. So yeah, after the first time through, things change for Jhoulys Chacin here tonight. And knowing you have Votto, Schebler, and Suarez coming up, specifically Votto and Schebler, Counsell's going to go to one of his left-handers. The night is over for Chacin. 1 out, 1 on in the 5th. Brewers and Reds are tied at 3. 133 your score as the night is over for Yalice Chassin. Dan Jennings now in the game.
It's been basically every other day for Jennings on this road trip. He has worked a lot. Game number 16 already for Jennings. 2-1 record and 138 earned run average. He's been terrific. He pitched yesterday in Chicago, only 2/3 of an inning. Stranded a couple of inherited base runners. That was in the 6th inning at Wrigley Field.
Very good ground ball pitcher when he's on as he gets ready to face Joey Votto. Jesse Winker is the runner at first. Votto tonight has walked and he's been hit by a pitch. Votto, by getting on base tonight, has reached safely in 15 straight games.
Left-handers don't bother Joey Votto much. Pretty good against lefties. I mentioned that it's been basically every other day for Jennings on the road trip. He did pitch yesterday. He's probably just going to face 2 guys here. Jacob Barnes getting loose in the Brewers' pen.
Want to know the count to Votto. Been heating up about the last week and a half or so. Jennings evens the count. Is what you're talking about, and he gets a back-to-back opportunity now. One and two. Jennings, one of several that the Brewers have. 5 of them with ERAs of less than 1.5, and you want to just get the list of guys with an ERA of less than 2. That number goes to 6. Taylor Williams 193. They've just been good almost across the board. Here's the 1-2.
You know, and it's not just their own runs, it's saving runs that they inherit. You know, with Jennings, before tonight, 13 inherited runners, and only 3 of them have scored. So that's pretty good percentage.
As a 2-ball 2-strike count to Votto. Five times in Votto's career he has led the National League in walks. That includes last year, 134. Showed the power again. A 36 homer year, drove in 100. Here comes the 3-2. And Votto walks for the 2nd time tonight. He's been on base all 3 plate appearances.
Yeah, he was behind in the count, 1-2. Jennings tried to get him to bite, but man, that's not going to happen with Votto too often.
And here's Scott Schebler. Reds move the line in the 4th inning. With a double, a bunt single, a sac fly, and another walk here in inning number 5. And a ground ball gets through into left field, a base hit. Winker will stop at 3rd. As the Reds play station to station, they're now loaded with 1 out in a tie game.
Yeah, unusual. Jennings coming in and not being able to retire a lefty. And you got Suarez up here with the bases loaded. Barnes has been thrown in the pen. Let's see what Craig Counsell does.
There's your answer. So a rare ineffective appearance for Dan Jennings, as Counsell will again go to his bullpen. Reds with a run into the 5th, and the bases are loaded with just 1 out. 3-3 the score as we have another pitching change at Great American Ballpark. Have them loaded up with just 1 out. Dan Jennings a walk and a single, and now with a right-handed hitter and Suarez coming up, it's Jacob Barnes' turn to try to get out of this.
Yeah, Barnes has had some time off. He pitched Thursday against the Cubs. Tossed a 3-up, 3-down inning. I should say a scoreless 8th inning. He actually gave up a couple of hits, struck out a batter. Appearance number 13 for Jacob, and that very good 1.17 earned run average.
He faces Eugenio Suarez, a 2-run double from him in the 4th. Winker at 3rd, Votto at 2nd, Schebler at 1st. And Suarez holds up. Well, the Brewers got a big double play in the 4th inning. See if they can come up with another one. Here's the 1-0.
Yeah, that cut fastball just a pitch to get that double play, but you got to get it down and away.
A ball, a strike to Suarez. Breakthrough year for Suarez last year. Really established himself over at 3rd. Signed a big contract extension. Barnes ahead of him now, a ball, 2 strikes. And there's a ground ball, and that's going to get through. A base hit. Winker is in. Votto rounds 3rd. He's going to score, and the Reds lead it 5-3. Suarez having himself a night. 2 hits. He has driven in 4.
One of the few times that the Brewers bullpen has not been effective. And Jacob left that one up in the zone. Fastball away, and Suarez able to hit the ground ball, but he got it up the middle. Driving in a couple of runs. Big inning for Cincinnati.
And still just one out. There's the bullpen for Craig Counsell finally breaking down a bit. Here's Tucker Barnhart, who is just not seeing strikes until now. He has walked twice here tonight. He was caught stealing in the second inning. Barnhart chasing one downstairs, 2 strikes and nothing. Four hits in the inning and a walk as well for Cincinnati.
Every time the Brewers score, the Reds come right back.
2-strike pitch. Schebler the runner at second. Suarez at first. Here's the 1-2. Fly ball out to left center field. Kane with room. And that's out number 2.
Barnhart gave that one a pretty good ride to the opposite field.
Had a little carry.
Yes, it did.
Here's Alex Blandino. Mentioned he is in the lineup for Scooter Gennett tonight. Word from the Red side is that Gennett's been dealing with a shoulder issue. They say he's available to pinch hit, but did have an MRI. That's why, among other reasons, Blandino's in the lineup. He's been hitting well. He has a 7-game hitting streak going. A strikeout and a double play ground ball from him tonight.
I'd much rather be facing Blandino, 4 times than Scooter Gennett. That's a break for the Brewers. Not to have Scooter in the starting lineup. There he is. He's on deck.
We said available to pinch hit. Remember, the pitcher hits 8th in the Cincinnati order. A ball, a strike to Blandino. They'll give him the corner there on the fastball. 1-2. A 3-run inning for the Reds. A sac fly from Peraza, a 2-run single from Eugenio Suarez. One two on the way. Close the book on Chacin. 4 1/3. 4 earned runs on 5 hits. Tonight, with the Brewers offense is going to need to pick up the pitching. And the other way around here lately. And that is strike 3 called. Barnes catches Blandino looking. And that'll do it for Cincinnati in the 5th. But the Reds score 3 and they lead 5-3 after 5.
5-3 as we head to the 6th. And good is in our DNA. BCF wants to tell you that every Brewers player does his part in supporting the Milwaukee community through a variety of initiatives like building houses, bikes for kids, scholarships, youth baseball, and much more. You can join Brewers Community Foundation and play on their team by lending a physical and financial hand to nonprofits throughout the Milwaukee and Wisconsin.
All right, thank you very much, Sophia. We move on to inning number 6 as Domingo Santana will lead things off for the Brew Crew. And we'll tell you about the new pitcher here momentarily. Fastball misses. It's Austin Bryce now on the mound for the Reds.
He's got the sinker, he's got the slider. He had some big league time with the Marlins before coming to the Reds last year. You see his numbers not too bad. 345 earned run average in 12 appearances.
Brandon Finnegan with the first 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, couple strikeouts, couple home runs. That's been the Brewers offense. Solo homer for Manny Pena and a 2-run homer from Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, Bryce, one of those guys that can give you multiple innings. His last time out against the Twins, he went an inning in the 3rd. And 2 appearances before that, 2 innings against Atlanta.
Ready with a 1-2 pitch to Santana. Yeah, multiple innings, and when needed, he can go on consecutive days, which he has done on 3 occasions. Reds bullpen has had its issues, but it isn't the case all across the board. And what you want to do if you're the Brewers is avoid Raisel Iglesias.
Yeah, at the end of the game, he's tough. He really shortens a game. He can give you multiple innings too.
And a breaking ball gets Domingo Santana for out number 1.
Yeah, hanging slider, and it got it by him. It was out of the zone. Sinker, slider for Austin Bryce. He was a 9th round draft choice by the Marlins in 2010 out of high school.
Dan, you mentioned came over in the trade. That was part of the Dan Straley trade. Reds sending him down to Miami. Here's Manny Pena. Looks at a fastball. Pena ended the Brewers' scoring drought in the 4th inning with the solo shot to center. Three runs, 5 hits for the Brewers, 5 runs, 7 hits for Cincinnati. Both teams have played errorless ball so far. One pitch. Slider fouled away. Well, we talk about the Brewers, and when they score first and go deep, they win most of the time. We'll see if they can rally and keep that trend going. Pena ended the drought with that long ball.
Yeah, a couple of center cut fastballs by Finnegan. He allowed a couple of home runs.
Count holds, a ball, 2 strikes. Jonathan Villar on deck. And that just did miss him. 2-2.
Really hanging in there to the last second, just kind of cover that outside corner with a slider. A lot of movement on all of his pitches. You know, the sinker coming into righties, slider going away, nothing really straight.
And Pena hanging tough. 26-year-old Austin Bryce, first man out of the bullpen for Jim Riggleman tonight. Two-two pitch again, and a little tapper, and that will be out number 2. We're seeing what's been going on with these two teams right now. The Reds have taken some pride in manufacturing offense, moving the line. That's what they've been doing here tonight. The Brewers, runs coming from home runs.
And Joey Votto in just about, the middle of all of it, and he hasn't got a hit. A couple of walks, a hit batter, but he's been on base.
And has scored twice. Just another night for Votto. And here's Jonathan Villar. We've talked about they've had him study Joey Votto and his at-bats.
Not too many hitters that can replicate that approach.
Now you can try, but it's
unique.
It's a short list.
It's really unique. Only he can do it.
Villar is struck out and walked.
I mean, he waits such a long time, particularly with 2 strikes. He chokes up on that bat. I mean, he takes some of the strangest looking swings just to stay alive on a tough pitch. And then he'll get one that he likes and just crush it somewhere.
Yeah, they say it's almost like he has you where he wants you on when he has 2 strikes against him.
Yeah, the at bat just starts.
Narrowly missed the MVP award last year, a close second to Giancarlo Stanton. Two balls, 1 strike to Jonathan Villar. Austin Bryce looking sharp here. A strikeout of Santana, a little tapper from Manny Pena. And the 2-2 coming. Villar with 1 homer. That was at Citi Field a couple of weeks ago. And a slider is fouled. So Villar extending the at bat.
And Bryce has left some pitches up in the zone to all 3 hitters in this inning. The Brewers really haven't been able to connect. Santana had some pitches up. Villar had a good pitch to hit right there.
Again, the 2-2. And a diving Blandino cannot get it. A base hit for Villar. Takes the big turn, and he's the 2-out runner for Milwaukee in inning number 6. It's a good at bat for Jonathan Villar.
It is. That was a grinder right there. That at bat with 2 strikes, fouled off some tough pitches. He actually fouled off some good pitches to hit, but able to get this one. Yeah, the 2-seamer 94 miles an hour going away from him, and he gets it out of the reach of Blandino. And a base hit with 2 outs.
Hit number 6 for the Brewers. Here is Orlando Arcia. Comebacker and a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Arcia so far tonight. Let's see what Villar might have in mind.
Ooh.
And that was close. It got away from Votto. That got VR actually.
Yeah, it looked like he got him in the shoulder.
Yeah, and he is feeling it.
Sounded like it went right off the end of the glove of Votto, and it got VR in the shoulder. And had Votto caught that baseball, it would have been pretty close at first.
They're going to take a look at Jonathan VR. Dave Yeager, the athletic trainer, heading that way.
And if he catches it, he might be out. Never got a glove on it.
No, VR says he's okay. As Arcia will settle back in. He has yet to see a pitch. VR's running. Pitch is taken. And VR is safe at second. Stolen base number 5 on the year for Jonathan VR. And the Brewers have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, he wouldn't be denied, especially after he got hit in the shoulder with that pickoff attempt. And I think that one got him too. He got him right in the ribs. It's been a tough battle out there for VR. Check it out. Yep, got him. Reds haven't been able to catch much, but they've been hitting VR.
Getting beat up out there. It's a ball, a strike now to Orlando Arcia. Trying to pick up VR and pull his team to within a run in the 6th inning. And the chopper is just foul over at third. Pretty tough first month at the plate overall for Arcia, but he does have some big moments. 3 game winning RBIs for Arcia. Here's the 1-2. Just did get a piece.
Another example of a pitch that ended up right down the middle of the plate. Arcia out in front of it because it was a breaking ball. But Bryce has gotten away with some really bad pitches in this inning. Look where that ends up.
And that's one begging to be driven. A 1-2. Oh, another wave and a miss, and securing it will be Tucker Barnhart. That's a tough at bat for Orlando Arcia. Austin Bryce strikes out a couple. We move to the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-3 Cincinnati.
series between the Royals and the Red Sox, and a look at Xander Bogaerts, who hits a grand slam to left over the green monster, and that gives them a 6-3 lead. Now that's notable because for the Red Sox, it's their 6th grand slam of the season. That ties the Expos for the most by any team before May 1st. That's crazy. 6 grand slams already in the first month.
Yeah, that is crazy. Check out the team's off to the best start, and the surprise in all of that is the Mets. You know, Diamondbacks have been winning series after series. But we're talking about teams with pretty high expectations there for the most part.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, every one of these teams expected to get into the postseason. The Mets, I think, with their starting rotation, a bit of a flux. You know, Matt Harvey sent to the bullpen, but that's going to be a team that's going to score some runs this year.
Yes, sir. All right, Scooter Gennett pinch hitting. He will lead things off here in the bottom of the 6th for Cincinnati. And double switch here for the Brewers. Hernan Perez now in the game. He will hit 9th. He is the new shortstop, and Brandon Woodruff is now on the mound. 1-0 pitch coming to Gennett.
Yep, 8 pitchers in that bullpen for Milwaukee. 4th appearance this year. Last appeared out of the bullpen against the Cubs on Saturday. Tossed a 3-up, 3-down inning. That included a couple of strikeouts.
Gennett looks at a strike, 1-2 the count. We mentioned a while ago he's been dealing with a shoulder issue. They've taken a closer look. He just hasn't been able to throw the way he thinks he needs to, so they're keeping him out of the field. Blandino, the second baseman tonight. This guy can hit. We mentioned, you see the average, a couple of home runs this season. And the bust out year of 2017. Brewers kept him quiet a couple of weeks ago at Miller Park.
And as you mentioned, he's been much better against left-handers. The Reds have given him an opportunity against lefties, and he's capitalized on that.
Didn't have a ton of at-bats against left-handed pitching as a Brewer, but didn't fare well when he did for the most part. And he has worked Brandon Woodruff to a full count. Woodruff, the 3rd man out of the pen tonight for Milwaukee. Payoff pitch. Got him. Out number 1 in the 6th.
And big fastball up. Well, the double switch. Greg Counsell's looking for multiple innings out of Woodruff. 95 on the outside corner. Good pitch.
So 1 away for Woodruff. Got a taste of it last year with the Brewers. Facing Billy Hamilton. He tried to bunt his way onto the 3rd inning. He doubled and scored in the 5th.
He does that to draw that infield in. Not that he would have to do that. They're going to do that anyway, and that gives him an opportunity to, slap that ball at the left field. A little flare, maybe a line drive by the 3rd baseman. When you're in that far, you have 0 range.
A ball, a strike to Hamilton. Woodruff had 8 starts with the Brewers last year. A debut in Tampa in early August. After a debut in June, was scratched because of a hamstring issue that occurred as he was warming up. Now working out of the pen for Craig Counsell. Here comes a 2-2. And it's back-to-back strikeouts for Woodruff.
And 97, pretty much the same spot of the pitch that he struck Jeanette out on. Hey, you'll never miss a second of the action with MLB.com TV Premium. Enjoy HD streams on all out-of-market games that were on 400 different devices. Plus, get a free MLB.com At-Bat Premium subscription when you sign up.
Part of the gathering here tonight in Cincinnati. Well, Woodruff a couple of strikeouts. Jeanette and Hamilton now facing Jesse Winker. A 2-hit night for him, a double back in the 3rd inning, a bunt single in the 5th. Reds with 2 runs in the 4th, 3 more in inning number 5. Winker with a fly ball hit back into left field. Yelich going back at the wall, and he makes the catch. Oh, a sweet looking play by Christian Yelich out in left field, taking away extra bases from Jesse Winker. Well, he's Gold Glove good, and that's a reason why. Robbing Winker of a double, and it's 5-3 Reds after 6. Extra bases from Jesse Winker. Well, let's see if the defense can kickstart the offense here as we move to the 7th inning. It's 5-3 Cincinnati. New pitcher for the Reds now, the left-hander Wandy Peralta.
Yeah, this guy's been pretty good. 15 appearances now. That leads the staff. A 1-1 record and a .263 earned run average for Wandy Peralta, one of 2 left-handers currently down in that Reds bullpen. And last time out against the Twins, a scoreless inning.
And we've talked about the Reds pitching and how it can struggle, both starters and bullpen. But Peralta, as you see, he's been more than solid. He's facing Hernan Perez, 9-1-2 in the Brewers batting order. Perez sends one to center field and barely needing to move as Billy Hamilton, 1 out.
This guy has been very good at retiring first batters, 14 of 15. This year. That makes your job a lot easier out there in the mound when you get that leadoff hitter out.
And he retires Perez in the 7th. Here's Lorenzo Cain. Let's take a look at the Powerball home run leaderboard. Cain with number 4 tonight. 2-run shot in the 5th inning. Eric Thames at the top with 7. This was a ballpark that Thames really enjoyed last year, especially that first trip here. Thames, of course, on the DL, had thumb surgery a few days ago.
Yeah, the Reds aren't sorry to see him out of the lineup. The way he hits him.
He has just chewed up Reds pitching. Kane out to center field. Hamilton again out number 2. So a couple of fly ball outs here in inning number 7, and here comes Christian Yelich. Single sandwiched between a pop up to short and a strikeout in the 5th inning. And that will be a base hit, the second of the night for Yelich, attacking Wandy Peralta right away.
Yeah, and second base hit for Yelich against a lefty. You got one against Finnegan. Well, there's that 2 outs, nobody on base hit thing for the Brew Crew.
Yeah, that was such a big part of the frustrating weekend in Chicago. It seemed like it happened time and again.
And leadoff hitter getting on, such a big deal.
We'll see if Braun can get into one. Walked and singled and flied to right. Five homers, a team high 15 RBIs for Braun. One strike pitch from Peralta. .25 homers for him here in his career. Lance Berkman 23. Albert Pujols has 20. Those are the top 3 opponents in what they've done in this ballpark.
Yeah, Brewers had 24 home runs here last year.
And they were able to spread the wealth. That's how the offense has come for Milwaukee tonight. Solo homer from Pena, 2-run homer from Lorenzo Cain. Craig Counsell has talked a lot about trying to find other ways to score. They're still looking. Occasionally they'll get it done, but this is a home run hitting team. Just it's who they are right now when they're winning.
Yeah, and that's why they're streaky scoring runs. I mean, that's just the case. I mean, when you don't expect to be able to be real consistent hitting home runs, sometimes you're gonna go into a spell where you're not hitting them, and then all of a sudden you're not able to score, like what happened on this road trip. But when they come in bunches typically.
3-1 to Braun. Peralta rearing back and letting it fly.
And that's the case with any team that relies heavily on the home run ball, not just Milwaukee. And why wouldn't you build your team around a home run lineup at Miller Park?
Absolutely. Yelich, a 2-out single to center. He's the runner at first. Payoff pitch. And Braun works a walk. So after a couple of fly balls to start the inning, Braun singles, or Yelich singles, Braun walks. And Travis Shaw will be at the plate.
And Travis is due. In a bit of a slow stretch for him right now. He's due to break out. No time better than right now.
Like the way you think. Mound conference going on.
Jared Hughes in the Reds bullpen, but he's not going to come in for Shaw for sure. It's going to be Peralta against Travis. Lefty versus lefty.
Part of the staff shuffling in Cincinnati. Danny Darwin, the pitching coach. Ted Power helps as well. So for the Ohio native Travis Shaw, opportunity knocks. Yelich at second, Braun at first. Runners are going. Pitch is taken, and the throw gets by Suarez, and Yelich will come around to score. Braun to third as the Brewers manufacture a run in the seventh.
There you go. Put the pressure on the defense. Tucker Barnhart has not thrown the ball all that well tonight. I'm not really sure if he should even have thrown that baseball. That was a great jump by Christian Yelich to steal the base. It'll be a stolen base and an E2. Well, he has to hit a guy on the run. Suarez wasn't at third base. He was off the line. Probably should have just held on to it. Well, he didn't, and the Brewers on the board.
And Braun moves to third, so the tying run 90 feet away as Shaw looks at a strike to even the count.
You know, that's a good play if you make it.
But you better make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them. We just talked about the home run reliance, and now they get the running game going. Couple of fly balls and a foul pop from Travis Shaw tonight. Going through a tough stretch here these last few games, but he's not alone. The 1-2.
But you know, if you're going to try and do that, this is the time to do it. You have a tough left-hander out there. Travis Shaw's been scuffling a bit. And why not push the issue? And it worked.
Two good runners out there. And they get a run out of it. Shaw sends one out of play. There's 14 RBIs on the year. Shaw is 0 for 5 in his career against Peralta. And he's making Peralta work. Full count.
You wonder if the Reds are going to go to the right-hander if it gets to Santana here. First things first.
There's the 3-2. A walk to Travis Shaw, so Wandy Peralta struggling to locate the strike zone.
That was close. Just missed the inside corner, 94, just off the edge, and here comes Jim Riggleman. Wants his right-hander.
So all this happening after two men were out. A fly ball to center from Perez, a fly ball to center from Kane. Single, walk, stolen base, E2, game tied or game within one. Pitching change, and there's Jared Hughes making the sprint to the mound. 5-4 Reds in the seventh. couple of walks, stolen base, an error. A run is in, and runners at the corners. Jim Riggleman making another pitching change as Domingo Santana gets ready to stroll to the plate. Jared Hughes now on for the Reds.
Yeah, Hughes' last 2 appearances have gone 2 or more innings. 2 innings last time out. Before that, 2 2/3. They wonder if he's going to, finish this inning and then go another. 15 appearances now for Jared Hughes and a very good 184 earned run average. Sinker slider for Jared Hughes.
Santana hits one into center field. Hamilton on the run. It's over his head and all the way to the wall. Braun is in to tie it. Here comes Shaw trying to score for the lead, and he is safe at home. And the Brewers grab the lead as Domingo Santana delivers with 2 men out.
Boy, that had to feel good for Domingo. Got the extra base hit. Picked on the first pitch. Got one up. Hard to hit a ball over Billy Hamilton's head, but that's exactly what he did. Boy, how about the 2-out rally for the Brewers? 2 outs, nobody on, and they're able to take the lead. A bullet by Santana on the first pitch over the head of Billy Hamilton. And Travis Shaw scores from first base. No doubt Ed Cedar's going to send him there.
A 3-run 7th inning now for Milwaukee. Third double of the year for Santana. Moves to third on the throw.
Four consecutive base runners after 2 are out. Pretty good rally for the Crew.
Yes, sir.
They needed that.
Without the long ball, a single, 2 walks, and a double. They got the running game going in the process. Pena, little bouncer. Suarez on the charge. And that'll do it for the Brewers in inning number 7. But a scoring inning. Big 2-run double from Domingo Santana to give the Brew Crew a 1-run lead. Christian Yelich doing his part as well, and he started to do his part with his glove. Check this out, running down this fly ball from Jesse Winker.
Pretty good chance that they don't make that catch the average outfielder in the big leagues, but he's not average. Well done.
And that is our Badger Mutual Insurance play of the game, where you could say there that the defense kick-starts the offense. But the Brewers did their damage in the 7th inning after the first 2 men were retired. Still work to do. Home half of the 7th inning. Brandon Woodruff remains in there. 2, 3, and 4 in the Reds lineup. It begins with Jose Peraza. Second inning of work for Woodruff. He had 2 strikeouts in his first frame. Peraza, a sacrifice fly. His last time at the plate. A liner nabbed by Shaw, and that's out number 1. Good play.
You wonder if they're going to see some haterade now, the Reds. Got a couple of tough lefties coming up. Josh Hader getting loose, and here comes Craig Counsell. Good job by Brandon Woodruff. Really good job out of the Brewers pen.
Couple of strikeouts, a ground ball, and got helped out by Christian Yelich. Going to see another double switch here as Woodruff will be exiting. Jesus Aguilar is going to join the party here at Great American Ballpark. And we'll get you caught up on what's happening here as 6-5 lead for the Brew Crew as Josh Hader ready to take the mound. Lead. Craig Counsell shuffling the deck right now. Let's get you caught up on the changes. Ryan Braun moves from first to left field. Christian Yelich will swing over to right field. Jesus Aguilar now the new first baseman for Milwaukee. And on the mound is Josh Hader.
He's had some time off. He last pitched on Wednesday against Kansas City. Only faced 1 batter, struck him out. Stranded a couple of runners on base, averaging over 18 strikeouts per 9 innings. Josh Hader.
No one averages more. Facing Joey Votto, who has done nothing but get on base tonight. A couple of walks, and he was hit by a pitch. Brandon Woodruff starts this inning by getting a ground ball from Peraza. Hader gets the jump in the count. 2 strikes and nothing. Oh, he can make the best hitters look bad.
Yep.
And that is out number 2 as Josh Hader, breaking news, strikes someone out.
Yeah, that's amazing. A fastball to get ahead, then back-to-back sliders. First one for a strike, second one in the dirt. I mean, that's just terrific pitching. Put it right where Manny wanted it, and Joey Votto just couldn't hold up. Another punch out for Hader.
Two outs, bases empty for Scott Schebler. He has doubled and singled tonight in 3 trips.
You got to figure Hader's arm's got to be feeling pretty good. It's been a long layoff. Wednesday, you only faced 1 batter. Got to be feeling fresh out there.
and showing it right now. Ball a strike to Schebler. Pours one in there. Caught the corner. Here's the 1-2. And that's some quick work as a slider will end the inning as he gets Schebler swinging. And Josh Hader faces two. Josh Hader fans two. 6-5 Brewers. Of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. One-run lead for the Brew Crew as we move to the 8th inning. A 3-run 7th, the difference so far, and the Brewers do the damage after 2 men were out. Jonathan Villar leads things off. It'll be Villar, Aguilar, and Perez, 7, 8, and 9 in the order. And Villar trying to bunt his way on, but pops one up, and Hughes avoids a collision with Barnhart. Whoa.
Pretty nimble, the big fella. I tell you what, Tucker Barnhart would have taken the worst of that. Check it out. Yeah, watch Jared Hughes. He's got it, and he jumps over Barnhart. No harm, no foul. Hughes was bound and determined to catch that pop-up.
Yeah, the former Brewer did. Well, he was good with the Brewers last year. Was Jared Hughes, 67 appearances. He's used to heavy workloads. 67 appearances each of the last 2 years. Facing Jesus Aguilar.
Yeah, good to see the Brewers break that pattern of when they score, the Reds score in that bottom of the 7th inning. A shutdown inning for the Brewers pitching staff.
Yeah, Woodruff started it, and then back-to-back strikeouts from Hader. Foul ball off the foot of Aguilar. A strong opening month for Jesus Aguilar. The 1 home run was a walk-off against the Marlins. He has driven in 8.
Good patience at the plate. Doesn't swing out of the zone too much.
A .412 on base percentage for Aguilar. And that's hit into left field, and that's going to go off the base of the wall. Big turn for Aguilar. It's going to be a long single. 1 out, 1 on in the 8th.
Ball was smoked. Yeah, Hughes leaving a couple of two-seamers up in the zone. He left one up to Santana. And now to Aguilar, so a couple of right-handed batters able to hit the ball hard. Check this out. Yeah, pretty much the same spot that Santana was able to get his double. Yeah, middle in, up in the zone, and Aguilar turns on it. Hits it too hard to get an extra base hit.
You see him all season, but you still marvel at the free and easy swing. You know, such a strong guy. And bangs one off the wall. Here's Hernan Perez. Perez rips one just foul.
Nice pick down there. That's a nice play.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Little guy gets a souvenir.
Check this pick out. Come on. Not that easy. That's nice. Yeah, future first baseman.
He acts like he's done that before. Good for you. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, no big deal. It's like Barry Sanders.
Yep.
Act like you've been there before.
Perez, little chopper. That's Suarez, and they'll get the force to erase Aguilar for out number 2. So Perez, the new runner at first. Jared Hughes, the longtime Pittsburgh Pirate. Signed just as last season was beginning with the Brewers last year, and now a Cincinnati Red. Appearance number 15. He faces Lorenzo Cain. He's walked and homered tonight. The homer was a 2-run shot. He'll regroup, settle back in. Perez on the run. Barnhart to throw. No chance.
It's been a while since we've seen the Brewers run this easily against Tucker Barnhart. He's really not throwing the baseball all that well. Didn't have much of a chance on that one. The Brewers have been taking liberties on the bases against one of the better catchers in the league.
Yeah, Barnhart came into the game having thrown out 6 base runners. Also committed an error tonight. He committed one all of last year en route to a Gold Glove season. But the Brewers have the running game going. 2 balls, 1 strike to Lorenzo Cain. Bouncing ball, that's Blandino. And that'll do it for the Brewers here in the 8th inning. They strand a runner. Bottom of the 8th we go. Brewers up by a run. All right, Daria, thank you very much. Eugenio Suarez leads off for the Reds as Josh Hader remains out there. He has faced 2. He has struck out 2. He got Votto and Schebler to win the 7th inning. Pours a fastball into Suarez. 0-2. One of the top stories of the first month of the season, Josh Hader, and a strikeout machine. Had that run of 7 consecutive relief appearances with at least 3 strikeouts. Here's the 1-2. And there's his 3rd strikeout of the night. He's got a piece. Pena hangs on, and that's out number 1.
It's just amazing how Josh Hader seems to be able to pour through lineups. You see where he ranks. Strikeouts per 9 innings in the National League. A couple of left-handers in that group. Tony Cingrani with the Dodgers.
Here's Barnhart. He has walked twice. He has flied to center field. Six runs, 9 hits for the Reds, 5, 7, and 1 for Cincinnati.
5 stolen bases for the Brewers. Good to see him aggressive on the bases.
Yeah, they had a 5 stolen base game last April here in Cincinnati. Stuart Turner was behind the plate on that day. It's hard to imagine many running against Barnhart the way the Brewers have tonight.
And again, I mean, it's, you don't want to run yourself into outs in this ballpark. So when you take off, you better be pretty sure you're going to be able to make it.
And you look back at Yelich and Braun with 2 outs. They were both on the move. Barnhart draws a walk, so Hader struck out the first 3, and now a walk to Barnhart. And the tying run is aboard for Cincinnati.
Yeah, 3rd walk for Barnhart tonight. He got a good eye to plate. Every time somebody reaches base, better chance that the Brewers are going to have to deal with Votto again.
Right now, Hader will deal with Alex Blandino. A couple of strikeouts, and he is grounded into a double play. Seven-game hitting streak on the line for Alex Blandino, the former Stanford Cardinal. 1-strike pitch. A little foul ball. And a busted bat.
Broke his bat, probably broke his toe. Right off the foot.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Two strikes and nothing to Blandino. Split his time last year between Double-A and Triple-A. Put together a good year. Bothered by a hamstring issue that put a big dent into his 2016 season. Hader works him high and tight. Adam Duvall has moved into the on-deck circle for Cincinnati. Hader ready with a 1-2. And another strikeout for Josh Hader. That's 4 of them now tonight. 2 away in the 8th.
They got him to chase a pitch out of the strike zone. We talked about Hader. He's had a long layoff since Wednesday. He's pumping the fastball up there at 95 today. That's pretty good velocity for Hader. You see Josh between 92 and 94 this year. He's got a little extra.
So 2 away, and the dangerous Adam Duvall is at the plate. Pinch hit appearance. He has homered 4 times. He has driven in 15. And Hader the early jump on Duvall. Couple of big years at the plate for Duvall. 31 homers last year, 33 the year before. And he waves at one that bounced up there. How about that?
Slider, change up, one of the two. Not sure which one. Never did reach home plate. Slider. That's about a foot in front of home plate. Only takes one, though. Don't make a mistake here.
Exactly. 0-2 the count. Barnhart the runner at first. And another strikeout for Josh Hader. My goodness. 5 of them tonight for Hader in relief. A walk this inning, a strikeout of Suarez, Blandino, and Duvall to end the inning. Manny Pena ended the run of zeros with this solo shot in the 4th inning off Red starter Brandon Finnegan, and then Lorenzo Cain 1 inning later goes deep with a man on. It gave the Brewers the lead temporarily as the Reds were able to come up with a rally. Eugenio Suarez with a 2-run single and a 2-run double tonight as well, but Domingo Santana sails one over the outstretched glove of Billy Hamilton. And this gave the Brewers the lead. 2-run double, a 6-5 ball game now as we move to the 9th inning at Great American Ballpark. Christian Yelich leading things off for the Brew Crew.
A little sigh of relief in that Brewers dugout. The Brewers able to put up 6 runs today.
3 courtesy of home runs, and then manufactured some offense in that 7th inning. Yeah, just a 1-run game as Raisel Iglesias now on for the Reds.
Yeah, this guy's electric. He's got all the pitches. He can make right-handers look pretty bad. Last time out, he gave up a run in an inning of work. That was on the 27th against the Twins. Actually allowed a home run.
A ball, 2 strikes to Christian Yelich. Yelich, Braun, and Shaw here for Milwaukee in the 9th inning. Iglesias at one time was a starter. Go back 3 years ago. He had 16 starts, 5 the following year, and then exclusively out of the bullpen. Big year for him last year, 63 appearances. Yelich sends one into right center field. On the run is Hamilton, and he gets there for out number 1.
Hey, the Brewers will host a division rival Pirates for a 3-game series at Miller Park this Friday, May 4th through Sunday the 6th. You can check out the full weekend schedule, which includes Star Wars night on Friday, Cinco de Mayo on Saturday, and the lightweight hoodie giveaway on Sunday. Go to brewers.com.
Okay, there has the cape going, taking the mask off for the time being. Had that on display earlier. Here's Ryan Braun. Braun's been on 3 times.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about with Iglesias. I mean, he throws that sidearm breaking pitch every now and again. Tough on a right-hander.
28 saves last year in 30 chances. 0-2 pitch. A 9-hit evening here for Milwaukee. Terrific work from Josh Hader. 5 strikeouts. Now we'll see if the Brew Crew can finish the job. See if they can't tack on a run or 2 here. Get a little insurance. 1-2 again. Into center field. Hamilton, the sliding catch. There isn't a whole lot that's going to be out of his reach.
Yeah, he doesn't play very deep, and he makes catches like that, which kind of hurt him on that ball that Santana hit earlier. But he closes off those gaps quickly, and he can come in on the baseball with the best of them. It's pretty good at bat for Braun. He hung right in there on that sidearm action from Iglesias. They hit it hard, but Hamilton able to make the catch.
2 men out of the 9th for Travis Shaw. That could be just some nasty stuff from Raisel Iglesias. Telling statistic there what the Brewers have been able to do with 2 outs, getting some things done. And remember, in the 7th inning, the Brewers got their runs after the first 2 men were out. Single, couple of walks, a double. Josh Hader, bat in hand, on deck.
Yeah, that means he's coming out.
0-2 pitch.
Well, give him that bat. He's already got a hit this year.
Saying, let me have another hack. Let me up here, Skip.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. Iglesias with a 1-2. Bouncer to Votto. He'll handle it himself. And Raisel Iglesias sets him down in order. Well, Josh Hader. How good has he been tonight? 5 strikeouts for him so far this evening. We go to the bottom of the 9th with the Brewers leading Cincinnati 6-5. half of the ninth inning. Here's a look at what's on tap, presented by Miller Lite. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the series. Chase Anderson on the mound for the Brew Crew, and Homer Bailey gets the call for Cincinnati. Our coverage starts tomorrow with Brewers Live at 5:30 on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Josh Hader last year at Yankee Stadium had a game where he worked 3 innings. Another outing against the Reds in about the middle of August where he worked 3. So this is not uncharted territory for Hader, who has gone an inning and 2/3, and all the outs have been strikeouts. He starts with Billy Hamilton in the 9th. Hamilton then the top of the order as Hader again out in front, 0-2.
And of course, Josh has gone 2 innings on a number of occasions this year.
Here's the 0-2. But yeah, he's used to it, and he's dealing. And Rock, as you've mentioned, he's had some downtime.
Yeah, it's been since Wednesday, so yeah, a little bit of extra fuel in the tank.
The 1-2. Oh, he tried to bunt his way on, fouled it back, and that's another strikeout for Josh Hader. 1 out in the 9th.
Man, that gives you a sense where Billy Hamilton, he thought his chances were to get a base hit. Trying to drop down a bunt with 2 strikes. 6 punch outs for Hader.
He walked Barnhart. That's the only blemish out of the bullpen tonight for Hader. Chacin started. He went 4 1/3. Jennings, Barnes, Woodruff, and now Hader. Jesse Winker steps in. He had extra bases taken away from him his last time up. Terrific catch by Yelich in left field. A double, a bunt single, and a ground ball to short, rounding out the rest of the night so far for Jesse Winker. Lands the slider to even the count. Break even pitch on the way. A 3-run 7th has given Milwaukee this lead. Hader trying to protect it and finish this one off. The 2-1. He gets the corner, says the home plate umpire.
Yeah, Jesse Winker upset. That's a big call right there. You go 2-2 instead of 3-1. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
It's a pretty good at bat for Winker right here. Lefty versus lefty, hanging right in there. Don't make a mistake with a slider. Don't leave one up and in the middle of the plate.
Again, the 2-2. Another strikeout. 7 of them now for Josh Hader.
Man, getting unbelievable at this point. Every out has been a punch out. Just incredible stuff out of Josh Hader tonight. Perfectly located slider down and away.
Ties a career high for Hader. Mentioned that outing against the Yankees. He had 7 punch outs on that day. That was over 3 innings. Here's Peraza. Reds down to their final outs. Just a remarkable night in progress for Josh Hader.
Yeah, look at the box score or the scorecard. It looks like somebody's keeping score in a bowling game. Nothing but K's. And a good bowler at that.
A very good bowler. It began when he came on in the 7th inning. Brandon Woodruff got Peraza on a ground ball, and then Hader struck out Votto and Schebler. That's when that strikeout parade began. The only interruption was a walk to Tucker Barnhart. 1-1 the count to Jose Peraza. Make it 1-2.
You'd like to be able to end it here. You don't want to deal with the guy on deck.
Yeah, any kind of out. Strikeouts are sexy and all that, but get this guy out so you don't have to deal with that guy.
Yeah, you don't want to have to deal with him representing the winning run.
Hader brings the 1-2. He struck him out. Oh, what a night for Josh Hader. 8 strikeouts out of the bullpen tonight as the Brewers defeat Cincinnati 6-5.
That is just incredible stuff what you just witnessed from Josh Hader. 8 punch outs, 1 walk. Unbelievable. I mean, what do you say about that performance? Good to see the Brewers offense get going, but Josh Hader, the story once again here tonight. Unbelievable work out of the bullpen.
My goodness, a 3-run